Okay, so today I'm going to download the Wraith. What I've done is I've reverted back to an old save for my expedition save because it was having problems with some of these things. And I've reported the bug and I'm moving on. I'm just going to revert back. Unfortunately, that means things like my fishing catalogue are still incomplete again. I'd done everything in the fishing catalogue and now I'm going to have to do the whole lot again. But never mind, I'll just do that in my own time and I will probably not do it quite so obsessively this time, because I know how it works now. Now, what I haven't done is collected the expedition rewards. And because I made a video about the Wraith and analysing it, I thought what I would do today was just claim it and kind of upgrade it. So it starts off quite basic. And in this save, I don't have the advantage of having like a thousands of hours old save. I have, I can't remember how many hours I've had in this save, but it's not very long. It's just been in and out of expeditions and a little bit of general play. So we might have a few things in our freighter. You can see that this save is not quite so serious, the way that things are a little bit more random in my storage. So that's all I've got. That will actually, let's just chuck that in my ship. That's all I've really got to help me upgrade, but that will be a good start because I can fill in these gaps. Might as well put all of them in. So we now have, I think that just gave me some extras there. That happens occasionally on some of these things. It just kind of, I think it's a bug. It just pops a few extras for no apparent reason, but I'm not going to complain. I need the extras. And then I have a few of these. I'm going to just pop all of these as well and see what we get. Here we got a bit of technology. We need to evolve that. And now we can land on water. And we have the neural shielding. Box from cargo progs. I actually forgot you could do that in this save. In this type of ship, rather. But yeah, great. We got that. None of these are particularly great, but let's put them in anyway. This is all a bit of a mess, isn't it? It just starts off with everything everywhere. Let's put these down here. Put those there for now. It is kind of pretty. I do Yoza. I'm not so keen on this bit at the back. These tendrils are kind of a bit weird. They move strangely, but apart from that, I think it is quite a nice looking ship. And I do like the way that the undulation. I'm gesturing, but I don't appear to have my. Don't appear to be on the screen. I was doing that. To camera. Light. Yeah, I like the undulation and the kind of the way that the texture rolls over it. The texture rolling over it is quite common for the cockpit, but not usually for a part of the ship. Yeah, I've got a theory that they're kind of the same species or a similar species as the living frigates. We will see. They may expand on the lore one day. We live in hope. Put that there with that. That gets synergy. Nothing else does, so we can put that down there. In fact, we can put all of those out the way. And I had someone say when I did my video on what's it called? Analyzing this thing. Why didn't you just use this button? It's because I never really use it. I don't really. It's not the way I think. So afterwards, I was thinking that myself after the when I was editing. Why didn't I just use that button? It would have been so much easier for everybody to follow what I was doing. So really, for the time being, that can tuck down here. And we'll give ourselves better maneuverability. I can't remember where the other... Oh, there it is. Put that out of the way. It's always been difficult for me to upgrade living starships because of the tech modules are not common to find. It's not sold on space stations. Yeah, and that's kind of what this stream will be. I'm going to demonstrate how I do it. I'll demonstrate all the ways, but the main way that I do it, which is shouldn't be too hard. And for a start, we've got these now. I got these back from the living frigate missions, which if you're saying this looks a bit like a living frigate, you probably already got living frigates. While I remember, I will send another mission out with my living frigates. Because you never know, they may bring back some spawning sacks. I always save when I get back to my ship. Yeah, I don't mind the tail. It just needs a bit of work on the animation. I feel like it's too juddery. It's. Let's see if we can look at it in the. Hi, by the way. Alphas Rocky. And welcome back. I'm pretty sure I saw you before. Yeah, it's the. I just feel like the rest of it is very sinuous, and that's kind of a little bit more. I don't know, stiff and not quite right. If they just toned down that brighter blue colour just a little bit, maybe similar to how it is in the recess it comes from, and then just kind of made the waving a little bit less weird, it would be better. And I don't think that would be very hard if they consider it a priority. Right, so first things first. Let's have a quick look at my fleet. Remind myself what we've got. So I have, because I've done mostly expeditions in this save, I have the expedition rewards, including the Leviathan, which I have taken to 50 expeditions. And I'm sure I had another one. Oh yeah, one right here that's hardly done anything, and it started off as a C, and I thought, well, I'll claim it anyway. These are the exception. Hi, Wolfheart. These are the exception to the rule of starting off at C is probably wise. Although I've never really stuck to that particularly. But I just claimed this because it was the first one, I think, and C. It will get better, and I can always dismiss these things. So as you can see, it's a relatively young save. It doesn't have lots of progression on things like this. But what I will do is send out both of them. I'm glad you liked it. To be honest, I was in two minds whether to put it out or not, because the law, as I said in the little introduction, it's so subjective that you can just end up having more discussion about whether it's correct or not than you can on the what I think is the fun speculation side of things. So yeah, I mean, I get less discussion of the law as it goes on because there's less law being put forward, I suppose. Tail tentacles could have been. Oh, you're talking to Adelphus, but Alphys, I should say that right. The tail tentacles could have been designed to have a trail coming out of it. That would have been more epic design. So we could have, yeah, I kind of get what you mean. That kind of, I just had one on the screen, didn't I? That kind of almost ethereal tentacle would have been a lot better. So let's actually do what we're trying to do. I don't know if I've got much fuel, but never mind. We'll see. I think these can come back from any type of mission, as long as you're sending out a living ship. But because I haven't really got an awful lot of stuff, I might do some simpler ones. It will make it less likely, I guess, because there'll be less things happening in the expedition, but send that out. Try and back it up with something good. We're lacking on the trade, so but not that much. Let's put that out. And I put that out. That'll do for... Oh, I haven't got anywhere near enough fuel. So Ship of the Damned, CS5 and the Coiled Inyand. We'll come back to that when we've made some fuel, if we've got enough stuff to make fuel. It should be enough for now. What did I say? It was the CS5, and we backed it up with Ship of the Damned. Yeah, that's getting there. That should be okay. Don't think I really need to give it anything extra. That'll do. And then I will send out... Let's do a long one as well. So let's do... I don't think I've got much industrial. Let's do this. So we'll send out that because that's one of its specialties. And, well, we can send out anything now. So, again, I'm kind of tempted to put these out there. And we're lacking a little bit of the main mission, so we'll shove that out there. 12, 27. Yeah, we'll send the normally out. Using a lot of fuel, but never mind. Okay, so they're both out. They'll hopefully come back with something in one of those missions. Yeah, my slight jerkiness. I'm on a PC, but I use a controller. I feel that this game is kind of designed for a controller, and almost the minute I picked it up, I reached for a controller, because it's like the interface. This is all very controlled. Yes, you could use a mouse and it'd be a lot easier, but I'd just be picking up a controller every 5 minutes. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. How you get the tech modules for the living starships. That's this stream pretty much. So that was the first thing. But sending out those expeditions, if you've got any living frigates, sending those out. And I can't really physically demonstrate how you get your first living frigate here, but with that flute thing, I can't remember what it's called now. And then further living frigates, you can just use... Have I got any? Yeah, anomaly detectors. But what we're going to do is we're going to go pulse fishing. And ideally, and this can get a little bit boring, so we'll see what happens. Ideally, we're going to find abandoned systems. And because we're in a living ship, we've got all of the filters. So we'll switch to life form. And we'll look for white systems. Might as well go there. Part of our fleet's there. You might even see our fleet when we get there. Should look out for it, because you can actually follow them. Can we see them anywhere? Let's go into my... No, I can't see them. Theoretically, as long as they didn't move on when we got here. Yeah, they're still here. That little 3 bullet icon are the ships. They're the frigates I just sent out. And theoretically, they're here somewhere. But we'd need to be near them to spot them. And I can't spot them on my radar at all. Right, so now we're in an abandoned system. Now, the reason we come to an abandoned system isn't because these are unique in abandoned systems. Not abandoned, we're in uncharted. The reason I've come to an uncharted system, and to clarify, if we look at the map and we go to life form, then the red are the Vy'keen, the yellow are the Gek, and the blue are the Korvax. So anything left white in this particular filter, the life form filter, is uncharted. It means that it doesn't have a race. There's no space station. There's no population, as it were. So the reason I've come here is not because you can't do this in other systems. It's because you're more likely to find what we're looking for, which are melody eggs, when we pulse. So now I'm just going to pulse and wait and see what we get. This is where it could be a little bit boring for a stream, so feel free to ask any other questions while we're pulsing, because we're just waiting now. But the theory is that we won't get too many other types of space encounters because we're not in a chartered system. So we shouldn't get things like traders. Now, they do sometimes pop up. I feel like they shouldn't. We will still get things like space anomalies. Like, oh, we've got a melody egg straight away. So here's one. And that should happen relatively quickly. So now we have got we've got a singularity cortex. So we got one of those. We already had one, we've got another one. And we can immediately install that. But obviously, we've already got 3 of those, so we don't need it. Now, what I'm trying to suggest is you don't need to be too patient. We now know that if we come back to this system and pulse, that theoretically the first encounter should be a melody egg, because we've just discovered that. So if we pulse somewhere else now, let's go to a neighboring system that we haven't discovered before. So let's go to that one and see if we get the same thing. Then what we can do theoretically is jump from one to the other and spawn them. Yes, you do need to be in a living ship to get this particular spawn, otherwise you'll never see it. And this was the only way to get them originally. We didn't have living frigates, and there was no other way of getting them. But this is also by far now the first encounter here. This does make sense for an uncharted system, because it's just like a wreck. If I shoot that, we'll get a pirate. This is technically a pirate encounter. I don't really want to get a pirate right now. So I will carry on. So we will occasionally see things like that. But if we get 3 or 4 of things like that in a row, then this system isn't worth coming to. We'll just try and find another one. Yeah, the very first day I got a living ship, which was when they first released living ships, I spent most of an afternoon just doing this. And I eventually found 2 systems that I could just jump backwards and forwards to. And I got as many eggs as I could and maxed out my ship. Now, we could theoretically do that quite quickly. We'll see. And I can give the coordinates as well. Once we've established 2 of them. Yeah, psychonic, yeah. Psychonic is one of those words that it's like in 1 or 2 dictionaries. No Man's Sky is just full of words that are hardly used by anybody. See, I'm already a little bit bored in this system, thinking if I had to do this every single time, I'd have to pulse and get the wreck, and then I'd have to pulse again. So I'm going to give up on this one. But I will demonstrate that if we go back to the other one, we will get a repeat of what we had before. Because when you spawn into a system, it should be, as long as you pulse straight away, it should be predictable what you get. So we should see another psychonic egg. Or the equivalent, a melody egg they're called in this version when you're pulsing. This is where the game calls me a liar and it says, haha, we've changed that now. You don't necessarily get one straight away. But I think we should. You should never say what the rules are when you're streaming, because the game has a habit of changing. Yeah, precisely. If you use a mechanical starship, you're never going to see them. But your natural inclination is, well, I'm not taking that out yet. It's not very good. But you want to take it out straight away and start trying to upgrade the basics. See, I immediately got another one. Because that's predictable. And it's better as well. It's not predictable and it gives you the same things. So I can put that... I've only got 2, so I put that in, and then because I've got plenty of nanites, because this is an expedition save, then I will immediately evolve it, and evolve it again, and I'll evolve that one. And now I've effectively maxed out these. I could keep going with these and try and get better stats, but these stats are always 30%, and there's nothing really you can do with the shields, as it were. The scream suppressor is just a shield. Well, no phone is going to have the word psychonic in its dictionary, is it? It's a crazy word, right? So we always know we can come back to here. So first of all, let's take a photo of the... I've got something in the way of my screen. Hang on. You can't see what's in the way, but I'm going to take a photo of the... doing wrong button. Having to move something off of my screen messed me up. So I take a photo of that. We've got one location where we can predictably go. Now we just need another one within jump range. So again, filter, life form, looking for white ones. Just went there. We've got the Yadnaya is the one we're in already. Let's go here. This evolve thing does work on normal living ships as well. And we only really need 2 systems nearby. I guess if you kept getting the same melody egg over and over again, then you might want to switch it up. But that part seems random, so hopefully that won't matter. But obviously, yes, you do need to build up your nanites, because this particular save has been through about 4 or 5 expeditions. It has a stupidly large number of nanites for how long the save has been running. Considering I've got very few bases, I've got a very little fleet, but I'm very rich in the basics like nanites and cash. Now, the disappointing part, the part that does take forever, is expanding the inventory. Because you really do have to wait for the living frigates to bring back those spawning sacks, and they don't seem particularly common. You can go for days without seeing any, and then you'll get 3 or 4 of the spawns in a row, and then you'll never see them again for a week, maybe longer. This is, I wouldn't say it was my main save in some ways, in that this is not my legacy save. This is not my oldest save. But I do play this one more than any other save now, so yes, it kind of is my main save. And that's partly because my original legacy save is just OP now. And partly because it's so old and it's been in so many experimentals, because I do like testing the game, that I think it's just a bit bugged. There's a load of things that are just not quite right with that save, so I'm kind of building this one up instead. You've just gotten a living ship on one save, and I've just gotten a living ship on one save, and I figured the pain to upgrade it and literally gave up. It's not too painful. This particular system isn't looking very promising. It's taken a while so far. Good morning, Mr. Pontifex. Yes, good morning. Is the only way you could get upgrades through living frigates? Can we get more? This is one way of getting the upgrades for living frigates, and the other way is this. Sorry. Living frigates are one way. This is the other way. That's what I'm demonstrating. When we find another one, you'll see what I mean. Well, the Wraith is an S-class. So if you go, say, to the Nexus, it will always show the rank of your ship. That's where that rank comes from in your... So the very first one, again, in this system, is the Derelict. So we'll give it a try and see if we get a Melody Egg. But if we don't, I'm thinking a different system again. I'd like to find 2 that always give the Melody Egg first. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm just going to, in this case, uncharted systems, not abandoned systems. And I'm pulsing, but I'm trying to get in the first or second pulse a Melody Egg, and then I'm going to go between those 2 systems to slowly upgrade my living ship, because things you see in a pulse should, when you spawn in and immediately pulse, always be predictable. Can I ask you, is the Legacy an old school expedition? Also, I keep hearing Legacy rewards and Legacy that, but I've never seen anything in the anomaly about Legacy. No, I'm just using the term Legacy, meaning the save that I first ever used. Some people use Legacy to mean like day one save, for instance. I use it in terms of my old save that goes back to, I started playing during the Beyond period, so it's a Beyond save. So again, I'm yeah, well, that's kind of because legacy means old, doesn't it? It means this has taken a while. This would get a bit annoying if I had to do loads of these. So again, we're going to try and find a different one. But because different people are joining all the time, we're going to no filter, we're going to filter, we're going to life form. We're looking for white systems because white systems don't have a race. I've tried this one and I was successful, so I'm going to go back there again. And I know that the first pulse in this system should give me something, so we might as well go back there every other time, because the point of the exercise is to get those legacy eggs. So this will theoretically be a legacy one. This theoretically will be a melody egg. Mixing my words up now. There's all different levels of new player when you've played as many hours as some of us. I'll show you the hours in my original save in a bit, but it's many thousands of hours. This is an interesting point in the game, in that we just been given something. Here we go. Very first one should always be whenever we come here. It's an interesting point in the game where something new has been given to us, but not all players will remember how we used to do this. They'll just drop back to using their living frigates. So make sure it go to life form. And so we just keep going to the local ones. Yep, it's 10 years next year. So I don't know if they're going to do anything for the 10th anniversary or not. I imagine they will. I haven't been playing quite that long. I came in about year 3, I would have thought it would be. It is a very gorgeous game, yes. I've played it since launch. I'm so happy with how the game has developed. Started on PlayStation, bought it again on Steam. I can see why. I do play it on 2 platforms, but they're both technically Steam because I have a Steam Deck. But if I was on a different platform, if for instance they were talking potentially about bringing it out on iPad, I wouldn't have thought twice about buying it again. But they never did bring it out on iPad. Quite a lot of the live streamers are either day one players or are quite obsessed about the game, so there will be a wealth of information. I remember even before I was playing, because I used to follow the game for years, even before I bought it. And even before I bought it, I was watching specific streamers and learning about the game. And the community is generally very, very welcoming. Come on, we just want it to pop about now. That would be perfect. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that do. I'll read it out so just in case. Honestly, at this point, they could release paid DLC, and I would give them the cash without thinking twice about it. I already got my money's worth, and I feel like there's a lot of people that feel that way. I just don't think they ever will for this particular game. What I do think will happen is that those of us that feel like that will just buy Light No Fire without even thinking about it, even if it's pre-order. I would never buy a pre-order game, but I would just buy it just on principle. Yeah, there's always trolls in these games. It's slightly frustrating that some people just find it fun to go and kill newbies. The ones you got to watch out for are the trap bases, like the come and have a look at my base, and then you teleport to the base, and you immediately get teleported into a. Well, I'm not even going to say, but it's pretty obvious if you think about it what you could be teleported into. I'll persevere with this one. Just see if we get it on the second. Of course, if you really want to give Hello Games money, they do have a couple of other games. I do like The Last Campfire. It's quite interesting game. It's a much simpler game, the kind of game you might play on something like an iPad or a tablet. But I do think it's quite good. I like puzzles though. It's a puzzle game. Their merch store disappeared. I was quite keen on just buying bits of merch every now and again, but I think that might be coming back though, because if you look carefully in the World's Part 2, one of the two trailers, you see a lot of merch just lying around. So I suspect they might be bringing a merch store back at some point. I'm so used to just being able to do that pop, 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 that when I'm in a ship, I'm always doing that. It's I have to remember to go back.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Because like, if you're standing somewhere on a planet, you can just do that over and over. Now this is where I definitely start bailing out, because that pirate is going to pop before we'll actually get anything. So oh, it's just a spawning pirate, so it probably wouldn't have been too bad, but let's go somewhere else. So again, remember the filter. We want the life form filter. We don't want to go too far away from where we were. And stick to that one. Currently grinding out more autophage staff parts and comparing them to the Pillar of Eternity we get from the Titan expedition. I'm also actually doing that, partly because I really like finding S-class staffs. And I found some nice ones yesterday, actually, with much better damage potential, but they weren't my favourite types. So I had one with the aeration end, whatever it's called. See this one, if you look on my dashboard, that circle with the thing, that means there's going to be a pirate spawn any minute. So when that gets to the top.
Hostile scan detected.
So this is not the best place to cut, because that will spawn probably almost every time. So we won't go there. life form.
Warning. Threat.
I was able to see my rank in the anomaly. That was C class, but that's because of the ship. It's whatever the class of your ship is. So if you want to be, if you want to look S class when you're going to the Nexus, go in an exotic, for instance, or a living ship, and it will come up as S. That's all it is the ship level. How do you get those stars? You have to complete the autophage missions. So that's end game. So that's after the Artemis path, and also you have to have been to at least one harmonic camp, I believe. That's it, really. Then it will spawn. But obviously the Artemis path is the main storyline, so that can take a while depending on how you play. I just realised I'm probably in Isenton, so if anybody wants to come to the these particular systems, when I found 2 systems to jump back and forth, you will need to be in Isenton, not Euclid. That's true. You could just do the current expedition and get the current one that's in the expedition, which I'm not a massive fan of the design, but it's a pretty good staff. It's a middling staff. The one I've got, I think I'm currently carrying. No, I'm not carrying it at the moment. I can't swap while I'm in flight, so. But I've got one on this save that is pretty close to perfect. But the one I've got in this save, so that's not really what we want. I don't know if this one talks to us or not. I don't think it does. Okay. We got the equivalent. We got a photon cannon module at S class. Very nice, but not what we're looking for. Let's see what the second one is. Yeah, so once you've completed the expedition, you will get this ship and the Pillar of Titan. Is this a speak one? Oh, this is the one that tells you it just tells you a string of numbers, and that actually, if you decode it, gives you not only your current location but the galaxy number you're in, which is completely useless. It doesn't really, so you know where you are. Phase 4, there's finally 5. Yeah, you're quite close to the end. I did stream that. You will find in my live section I streamed it. So we've got one third time. And we got a grafted inode at A class. So I can't remember if I need a. Well, that'll save me because I haven't packaged that. So might as well put that in. And I'd be tempted to just evolve it now, but we'll wait. We'll conserve our nanites just in case we get an S at some point. Now, I thought that took a little bit too long because of multiple things, so we won't come back here. But change the filter to a life form. Let's try, yeah, try there, come on. See, I did do the expedition with this particular save, but I've reverted this save because I got a few bugs in experimental and they just don't seem to be going away. So I haven't done the expedition in this save now. But because I also did it as a standalone, then I get the rewards in any save. I wouldn't rush through the Hilbert Galaxy. The Hilbert Galaxy is the best galaxy. It's my favourite. One thing you may notice is I've turned the we found another one with an immediate spawn. And nice. See, I knew I shouldn't have done that because I got an S. So what I'm looking for, see, this is where it can start to take a while, but now at least we've found 2. Let me just double check in the galaxy map that we are in Isenton. Yes, we are. Let's rename these if the Discovery server's working. The other one, was it that one? I think it was. Let's go back there. No, before we do that I want to take a picture. So I get the glyphs for both. So if you did want to come here, then this is the glyph for Melody Egg 2, but you do have to come to Isenton. I think there's still a featured base in Isenton. And pretty sure it's that one. You can turn off PvP in settings. You go to options, network, allow PvP no one. You can even turn off your marker, show ship marker, so they can't see even where you are, they can't follow you. Show on foot marker, they can't see where you are either. And you can obviously disable multiplayer. But if you've got a friend with you, then that doesn't count in the same way. They'll be part of your, what we might call a fire team. So turning off PvP is always a good idea. You may have beaten me to that, Pontifex, but yes, that's how you do it. That doesn't mean there aren't ways that a griefer could kill you, but that's the most common way, just shooting you. I mean, it's a shame to turn off multiplayer, but obviously when you're streaming, I do occasionally forget to turn it off. I've even had it set in the past where anybody can join my game and people have just joined in while I'm streaming, and it's like, oh, I've got somebody in the system. you could probably almost time this. So now it's just a simple matter of jumping. Actually, we'll just quickly rename this system 2. Now it's just a matter of jumping between these two systems. Now, who remembers what that other system was called? It was that one, wasn't it? This is something interesting that you may not notice. When you're not actually focused on the system, it won't give you the rename. So I renamed it from that to Melody Egg 2, but it will only show when you actually have got the cursor over that particular system. So now I can just go from one to the other. Pulse. Now, this is the basic level. Just jumping between two systems, getting the first melody egg. If you really want to put a bit more time into it, there are some systems where you will pulse, get a melody egg, pulse again, get a melody egg, pulse again, get a melody egg, and then you'll get something else. So you think, well, I can do that 3 times. So we'll try that in this one now. And as far as I can work out, the anomaly detectors don't detect these, which is a bit of a shame. Right, so let's pulse again and see what we get for the second encounter. Once we've actually got one, all these spares, we could just sell those to the guys in the space stations, or we could install them and break them up for parts. So if we installed that and then break it up for parts, we can get things like walker brains, which is quite nice. A lot of those things you get when you break them up, you might need to repair things in this ship anyway. So what I tend to do in a living ship is have a stack of, a line of all of the things I need along the bottom of my inventory. If I get shot and something gets damaged, I can repair it relatively quickly. I suppose you could also use repair kits, but I mean, the lore behind the living ships, it's quite weird. It's like, it feels like the Korvax were experimenting on these living creatures. And we've kind of liberated it, but as you can see, there's electronic technology in them. I kind of quite like living ships. I know a lot of people don't. mean, the best thing is that they're just very, very simple. You don't need lots and lots of different resources to fly them, and you don't need lots of technology to go to any space system. God, this one's taking a while. Even if it is a melodic, it still might not be worth doing. I have a theory that they've nerfed the autophage they used to get 10 from, but other people are saying they're still getting 10. So anybody that goes to an anomaly, if you've been using the experimental branch, let me know if you get more than one walker brain. But I heard that the techs in the living ship cannot get damaged and won't need repairs. No, that's not true. I've been damaged in these before. They also seem to have a really nice large jump distance, or is that just me? I think they do have a pretty good jump distance. I've done a really deep dive analysis of about 3 or 4 videos looking at the hyperdrive of Sentinels, but I've never done it for living ships, and I imagine that they're similar to normal ships, but I haven't tried it, so I might have to look into it. I'll test it at some point. I'm still doing a lot of work on working out how damage bonus works, so it might be a while before we get around to testing hyperdrive on living ships. Ooh. Not very expensive one. Right, that really didn't seem to go too well pulsing for the second time. So let's go back to that one. What happened? Quick history lesson on living ships. When living ships came out, one of the ideas seemed to be that they wouldn't get damaged when they went through black holes. And then, not long ago, they took away all damage going through black holes for every type of ship. So older players that have been playing for years will say, oh, well, living ships don't get damaged in black holes, because they haven't actually been through a black hole for so long that they didn't even realize that normal ships don't get damaged going through black holes either. Then that turns into a bit of kind of false narrative where people will say, oh, living ships don't get damaged when you go through the core. And every time someone makes that claim, I quickly test it by going through the core just in case it's changed. And every time it's been damaged just like every other ship. We can test going into a fight after we've done a few more pulses, because we seem to have completed this now. We can come back here anytime and complete this ship. And we can see if we can get damaged. I'm pretty sure you can still. What have we got so far? So we've got that randomly. That's just got nothing to do with anything. Put that in here just in case. Install that and break it down. Install that and break it down. See, we get hypnotic eyes for the eye one. As I've got a lot of these, maybe I'll just put that in there. And then just evolve that. As I've got all of the nanites anyway. We've got a complete set of got a complete set of these. So the only thing we haven't got is a complete set of the neural assembly. We haven't got any neural assemblies yet at all. Let's pulse a couple more times and then we'll go and do some experiments. Which one was I in? In Yadana, so it's that one. When he says that after to complete the game you need to go to the galactic core, it won't get damaged, well, that's what he said. Well, you can try it if you want. You'll find that you do get damaged. I've tested it a few times. We could even test it on this stream if you want. If you think it's worth testing. No, I haven't done. I haven't put that in. Need to make some living glass. Well, no ships get physically damaged, do they? Scream suppressor. This is where this can get a bit more frustrating because... Oh, I've got Dawn Place. Because now we're just looking for one piece of technology. And so whatever we get isn't going to be what we're looking for. But we can recoup some of our expenditure of nanites by selling these. So it kind of pays for itself. Just it can take a long while to get those last things you're looking for. Yeah, that's what happens when you play this game for a long, long while. I describe it as we're all bored billionaires by the end of the playthrough. You just accumulate everything. And there's not really many overheads unless you keep getting a nice S-class. I do wonder, because we got that before, whether certain systems are favouring certain technologies at certain classes. Because that's the second grafted inode we've got at S-class in this system. So maybe we'll try a couple of different systems. Don't want to go too far away. I want to keep it quite local. What I do, well, there's two things I do. In any save, the first time I go through the centre, I don't do anything. I just go through with my ship and I repair it when I get there. Because I feel like that's part of the game. It doesn't take long to repair, to be honest. Because by the time you've got there, if you've gone the scenic route, then you probably have enough resources to repair anyway. But what I do if I'm really trying to min-max going through the core is I use a completely broken ship, even including the hyperdrive, because what I do is I use my freighter to go through the core and that will kill whatever ship is currently your active ship. At least it did last time I tried. Sometimes these things change. So you can theoretically go through the core and have everything broken already, even the hyperdrive. And so you're not doing anything wrong. So if you were going to go through multiple cores to get somewhere, you could just keep going through with that totally broken ship using your freighter. Now what they should do is stop that happening by breaking your freighter instead. The other thing you can do is you can just go into your technologies and take everything out, package it all up, and then put it all back again afterwards. And you can do that with your exosuit, and then nothing really gets broken because you can just put it all back in again. So the only things in that case that will be broken will be your actual main technologies. So you can pre-prepare, but I always think the very first time you go through, you should have that proper experience of fixing your ship. But that's just me. I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to these games. If it's not broken, it's not worth doing. Yep, you can have a different multi-tool as well. And now we can store away our multi-tools. That's one of the questions that they need to address, is what we... Because for a while, and possibly still, if you store something, if you store your ship, that it was repairing your ship. Now, I'm not sure if that still works. I'm hoping they fixed that. But it was repairing all of the inventory slots when you stored it and then brought it out of storage. I'm hoping they fixed that. And what they might do is, one possible option would be to not allow us to store broken stuff. So I was thinking, we could always just store our broken one away. But if they do use that solution of not allowing us to store broken things, then maybe not. I don't know. But if you've gone the long way around, you might have like 24 or a stack of repair kits by then. A lot of the other things you need are things you just have to hand. The thing you never want to do if you've never been through the core before is don't immediately call in your freighter and then go to a base in Euclid, because that way you won't have maintained a save point, a teleport point in the new galaxy. So what you want to definitely do is either make a base, that's the ideal thing to do, make a base in the new galaxy, or at least visit a space station so that you can come back. So many people do that. They get to the new system, they get to the new galaxy, their ship's broken, their multi-tool's broken, everything's broken, and neural assembly. And then they just jump back without making a save or going to a space station. Which one's the neural assembly? Neural assembly. That one. What's that got? That should have a different icon, really. Alright, because it's the last one, I'm just going to burn the nanites. So I just need one more neural assembly. And spewing vents, I think I have a few. We've got space here. We just need one more assembly. I put that in the space that the neural assembly will obviously go, so that's silly, but never mind. So this is Melody Egg 3. And if anybody wants to come here, then those are the glyphs, and I'll quickly take a photo for my own benefit. I'm not using the game to take the photo, if you're wondering. And come out. So we now have 3 systems that we can reliably get the melody eggs in, and because that one came up with a neural assembly, I might keep coming to this one. Now the other option, instead of warping around from one place to another, theoretically we can just save here. So if we call in our freighter, won't allow me to there. We call in our freighter and then reload and fly out from it, we should also get a melody egg on the first spawn. But that's worth testing. Because this is a slightly different way. What? Why is it that put me there? Still in the right place? Yes. Odd. Well, I think it's system dependent of whether they're popping up faster. This one... So these 3 systems, it's always the first one. You will find there will be some systems where you can get melody eggs within the first few seconds. You don't want one that's in the first 5 seconds because it takes you a few seconds to get to pulse. So... yeah, that is a Dreadnought freighter, and to be honest, not something I really wanted. I just, I was experimenting with the Dreadnoughts and I got an A, and at that stage I didn't have an A, I didn't have an S, so I took it. If I come across a freighter that's an S, I will take something else, because I'm not a big fan of the way they look. They're just so bloody big. They're very cumbersome things.
Technology recharge.
It's an A, yeah. Does this work in... It works in any system, what we're doing here. It's just that if you're just looking for your first ever one, or you're trying to find 2 systems near each other that you can go from one to the other, it's a lot more reliable to do it this way, because, say, a pirate system will have other forms of space encounter that it could potentially be that first one. So you might have to pulse further, you might have to do 2 or 3 pulses. Whereas in in a Uncharted system, there are just a few less things that it could possibly be. So you're maximizing your chances. It's the only difference, really. But when you're looking for the quickest way to upgrade your living ship, maximizing your chances is, as you can see, this is how long have we been streaming for. Someone could probably tell me, but I can't see on here. This is, oh no, I can, 1 hour 15 minutes, so we've nearly finished, really. Yeah, basically, that's exactly what it's doing, just limiting the spawn potential of the system. We're min-maxing it. We are we're cheating the system a little bit, because the last thing we want to do is spend forever upgrading a new ship. If you go for a dreadnought, my advice is not to go to pirate systems, because that's my advice for everything, is that pirate systems have a much worse chance of getting the best stats, and you can get dreadnoughts in high conflict systems, not just pirate systems. So a lot of the advice out there just says go to pirate systems, and you will see more there. But I mean, this one I got here, I was just quickly testing that in this save, and I got that from an ordinary system, an ordinary but high conflict system. The only difference really is that you're more likely to get the maximum hyperdrive distance. Well, once you finish the expedition, you will have a nice ship to potentially try it with. So now, this sometimes works. Let's see if this works. Sometimes you can make it spawn quicker. I've got examples of this where it works and examples where it doesn't work. And it will depend on the system. And I've had people that know a lot about the game swear blind this doesn't work, but I've got a system I can demonstrate it at any time. You can theoretically make the spawn quicker. In some systems. It's so weird it's only coming there instead of next to my ship. By doing this. Just immediately going into your freighter and pulsing again. You do have to do a quick bit of pulsing to get to your freighter, because whenever you spawn a space encounter, there's a bubble around it that means you have to get out of that bubble in order to call in your freighter. Now I think it hasn't spawned quicker in this system, so we haven't been lucky. But in some systems, that can work. You get a spawn, the very first spawn, but it takes, say, 4 minutes. But then as soon as you've got the spawn, call your freighter in, jump into it, resave, come out again, pulse again, and sometimes within about 15 seconds, you'll get the same spawn. But it's not consistent for every system. It does work in a stellar ice system that I used to go to. Which is a whole other can of worms, stellar ice. Back when I was grinding Quicksilver, sometimes I'd get to the end of the week and I'd have done all of the missions, and I've done the weekend mission, and I'm 200 Quicksilver away from claiming the next thing I wanted to get. I would go and do stellar ice pulse fishing to get my Quicksilver. About the glyphs, you can't get it from the expeditions. In other words, if you go into an expedition from your save and you earn all of the glyphs, then no, you can't. You won't carry back all the knowledge of all those glyphs into your normal save. No, you have to earn it in each save. The easiest way to get all the glyphs is, again, finish the Artemis path. The Artemis path doesn't take that long, really, and you get all the glyphs. I took a permadeath save, I think it was, and I didn't speed run quite, but I took it straight through Artemis without doing anything else. And I think it took me about 15 hours without speed running it. I'm pretty sure if you speed ran the Artemis path, which I don't recommend doing because you lose a lot of the lore, but if you did speed run it, it would only take about 7 hours max, I would imagine. Probably less. Yeah, the main quest art. In your log, the one that isn't the Atlas path and isn't the space anomaly, it will rename itself quite a lot, but that's the Artemis path. And the last part of the Artemis path is the purge. During the purge, you get all the glyphs. So I'm not saying speedrun it, because I think the Artemis path is worth paying attention to and learning the lore. Yeah, the first bit when you actually make a decision over Artemis is, a lot of people think, oh, that means I've got there, I can get the autophase stuff now. And that is, as you say, it's only about a third of the way in. Neural assembly node. So it did seem, at least from a very, very quick test, so that isn't proving anything, that this system was better for neural assembly nodes, because we got 3 from this one, I think. So now I am maxed out. I have all of these, which I had to get from the living frigates, and I've got everything at S for each of them. Obviously you could do more. There are certain ones, like these are always the same stats, but these have variable stats. The hyperdrive range, I could min-max that. I could like get loads of them and min-max it, but effectively this is a max ship now. So what do we need to do that? We need... oh no, there are other things we can do. We can get a little bit better hyperdrive with that. Which we might as well put there. Do we have a trail in this one? I can't remember if they gave us a trail. We can put Polo in.
Technology installed.
Put Artemis in.
Technology installed.
Right there. And we can put a trail in. I quite like the stealth trail.
Technology installed.
Some people put all of them in. I don't think it's really worth it. It doesn't make a huge difference. But that's probably the best stats we're going to get for the time being, unless we start min-maxing some things.
Technology recharge.
So what did that take us? That took us an hour and 25 minutes and quite a few nanites. I didn't count how many nanites I used, but I did spend quite a few nanites. But then you could always do that piecemeal. You could always just put all of the technology in and then upgrade them later when you've got some nanites. Certainly quicker than sending out frigate missions. which let's see if any of those are back. No, they won't be back because they were like 10 and 15-hour missions. So, but they will still bring back the sacks to fill out our inventory. So to catch up with chat. I love how I could find reference to sci-fi authors as my yes. Little spoiler. People don't notice this unless they look. So I'm going to show you. There's a lovely little Easter egg, sci-fi Easter egg in the anomaly. That most people have never seen. People have even made those little clickbait videos. Most people don't know this about No Man's Sky, which I will never do. I do occasionally put some titles in that catch attention, but I don't think I would ever make it into... Oh, look, that trail is in the wrong place. Right, over here somewhere. Where is it? There it is. Little sci-fi reference for you. It's really nice. I really like the fact they put that there. Now, someone's got to say in the chat what that's a reference to. Don't let me down, chat. Yes, Blade Runner. Blade Runner extended cut. Or not extended, I suppose it was the director's cut. There's another little Easter egg in this as well. There's, if you look at where it's on the left above where it says Space Anomaly, right next to where the top of my need to press that button and use that finger just here. It says Specialist Polo discovered it on the 1st of the 1st, 1970. So that's a little computer reference for the computer geeks out there. Yeah. What was I doing in the anomaly? About anomaly. Why am I here? Was it just to look at that Blade Runner thing? It was, wasn't it? Well, it was worth it. So what have we got? We've got... Let's take it out. See if we can get it damaged. Obviously, we do have full max shields now, so we're probably not going to get it damaged very easily, but we could always take some shields out. What's Blade Runner? Don't pull that. Don't be 12 or something and never watch Blade Runner. And even if you are 12 and have never watched Blade Runner, go and watch Blade Runner. Yeah, I was going to pull out some... which one's the shields again? Screen suppressor. So let's take those out. Let's do conflict. It's probably easier. Is it on conflict already? Yeah. That'll do. Yeah, well, if you're 15, you've got no excuse. Go and watch Blade Runner now. We can wait.
Hostile ships.
This is us waiting. Go and watch it now. Okay, now this wasn't what I was coming for. But I'm not sure how good this ship will be in this encounter. Not got great maneuverability either. I'm not really going very fast backwards. Oh, I hate the maneuverability. If I was doing this, I'd normally be in a much better ship. I'd usually be in a fighter at least. Not really bothered about anything other than making it surrender. Let's get rid of a couple of these and then we'll fly into space and see if the pirates are any good. I'm being shot a bit, so that will be a good test. I don't even know if I've got any repair kits on me. Does the living ship have an emergency warp? It doesn't, does it? Or does it?
Warning. Civilian shields depleted. Enemy missile inbound.
Yeah, but once you've watched Blade Runner, you can watch the newer one. And then the newer one is not an old movie. It's a relatively recent movie. 2049 or whatever the number is. And then you can watch the director's cut of Blade Runner, and then you'll finally know why I was showing a small origami unicorn. That's the word I'm looking for. Come on, you're supposed to be shooting me. I have as I have of everything, I have a theory about the 2049 that nobody else seems to really talk about online. In fact, if you do a search for it, you'll probably find me talking about it online and nobody else. Which is that 2049 is effectively not a remake, what would you call it? It's an extended reference to the Ring cycle. So if you know your opera, go and watch 2049 again, and you'll see lots of little references to the Ring cycle. Have I been damaged at all yet? No, not yet. I haven't actually taken any health damage, have I?
Critical damage taken. Critical damage taken.
Come on, shoot me.
Critical damage taken.
Well, it does seem hard to get damaged.
Critical damage taken.
I just want one piece of technology to get damaged.
Destroyed. Critical damage taken. Enemy missile inbound. Critical damage taken.
Are the enemy missiles even shooting at this stage? The freighter's dead. Unless it's shooting these, I suppose.
Critical damage taken. Critical damage taken.
It's not. Maybe you're right. Maybe you can't get damaged in these things. Because I haven't been damaged yet. I mean, I'm not in survival mode. But I would have thought I'd have had some damage to something.
Critical damage taken.
Can't even make it shoot me. Come on, shoot me.
Critical damage taken.
Could just be these pirates are rubbish.
Critical damage taken.
Oh well. It doesn't look like I'm going to demonstrate anything that way. Don't know why I'm shooting that. Right, where are we? Just think that's probably good. You did say. I mean, I'm still not 100% convinced, but we've only tested it once, but it didn't take any damage. Is that all of them? Yes. I don't think they're supposed to be invulnerable to damage either. Because I've had them broke in the past, and it could just be they're bugged. Or maybe it's the Wraith, who knows. It's an S-class. Isn't that nice? I don't want to do that yet. Hang on. I don't think the inventory gets transferred, and I want to take all that tech as well. Well, I didn't particularly want a dreadnought, but we seem to have one anyway. space. I'm going to have to think of things I can delete. Yeah, I might have just enough space. Don't really need to do these, I suppose. I can just make those again later. Oh. I messed that up. I just took my ability to actually do this away. And not the first time I've done that, but it's a stupid thing to do. You could lose the whole thing. How far away do we need to go before we can spawn our freighter? Don't want to land in it. I just want to get close enough. I've landed in it anyway. Put that back. Let's see if the upper one's still there. I mean, it is the hardest to get in the game, but we just did it in a pirate system where it's a little bit easier, but you don't necessarily get as good stats. I never know, we might have been lucky, we might have got good stats, but it's better than one I've got, so I might as well grab it. And at some point I might start looking for a freighter I actually want, because I don't really like these. Right, now let's do this properly without getting rid of my matter beam. I even said as I was doing it, I don't really need to get rid of this one. Right, no space there. One space there. Have I got exactly the right amount of space? I guess I could carry that with me. Grab a Tino board. I don't even know why I've got that. Get rid of that. No point taking that now. I'll put that back in a bit. See, that's not great, hyperdrive wise. I don't believe. Transfer base, yes. All your stuff be mine. Now let's put it all back again. I haven't got enough space to put it all back again. But I do have some saved up. I do have some saved up cargo bulkheads. So let's install those. Suppose I should be putting them back in a roughly good order. I'll min-max this later when I've got the time to really focus on it. That's not one. What we're doing? Weren't any below the fold? Nope. We did have a load. Oh no, the other ship. Oh, already got that in there because it already had one. In fact, which one was it? That's already installed as well, so we can dismantle that. No, that's not the same, is it? Wait, okay, odd. That just looked different. I don't remember that C being on there. So that's the plasmatic. So it's that one. Sorry, I'm neglecting chat at the moment, trying to get this sorted quickly. Don't have a full complement of stuff on this, but yeah, that's from the living ship, that's from the living ship. I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything there. And that's everything there. And there's nothing on here. So, yep, I'm going to have to start building up my cargo bulkheads again. Yeah, that's how you get that's how you just get an S-class dreadnought. And it really is that simple. Which it isn't that simple. It's used, but in a pirate system where I was, I'm going the wrong way. In a pirate system where I was, theoretically, it should be 5% of them will be S-class. But what you really want to look for is maximal hyperdrive range. And I haven't checked. In fact, I could probably check now. This has got a hyperdrive of 63.89. That doesn't sound great to me. I can't remember what the maximum is. If anybody has got the stats to hand, it doesn't sound good at all to me. Yeah. Got that probably from the thing. Okay, so I think that's nearly everything, really. Now I put the scream suppressors back. You have the ship. It's doing that thing again where it doesn't have all 4 stats. You have to go into these options and then come back. This hyperdrive range is 1,764. My current hyperdrive range for my freighter is still significantly higher, so even if it isn't fantastic hyperdrive range. The secret of stats is that, yeah, they're not all in the right places. Because I have put them all back in, I just haven't put them all back in the right places to get maximum amount.
Technology recharge.
The secret of stats in this game is that theoretically you can, like for instance, this multi-tool has got a much higher damage potential than most staffs in the game. And that's because I found it at S-class and didn't upgrade it from A-class or lower. And this particular one is one of the highest I've ever seen. Although I haven't got all the best modules in it. And I could now get X-class modules in there and really try and min-max it. But finding things at S-class is one thing. You get good stats. But if you find things in a pirate system, like where we are now, they can be worse stat-wise. They'll still be in an S-class range. We go to the space station. So for instance, if we wanted to get an S-class solar, then the best place to go, that was way out of the thing. The best place to get an S-class solar would be sitting in here, but the stats wouldn't necessarily be as good as if we found a solar in another system at S-class, but it would take a lot longer. Solar to fly in? No, that's not a solar. An A-class. While I'm here, you got any X-class? Yes, you have, right at the top. I wasn't expecting it to be at the top. These have now been buffed properly. These weren't working as high as they were before, as high as S-class. So if you used them, they would often be worse. Let's just put that one in for a demonstration. So I mean, that isn't a great one. But at least we have all four, but the damage was limited to below the damage you would see in these. And they've now fixed that finally. No solars, no solars. It's a very quiet space station. Never mind. Not important. So this, I think I've got the... Someone needs to check this. Gravnot, I see you're here. Maybe you can check this at some point. Deleted on... Yeah, here. In my video about glitching staffs, I've got a multi-tool while I was there. I make a video about glitching staffs. We were using this method. But I don't know if it works with other players yet. I need someone to test it. So theoretically, hello, William, my freighter.
Protection falling.
William, my freighter. It wasn't. I didn't put the thing back in. I do need to go up and put the thing back in. Frustrating. Right. Hold that thought. We'll be back in a minute. Watered by the matter beam twice.
Technology installed.
No, I didn't.
Technology installed.
Didn't put that. I don't know why that wasn't letting me put that technology in. It was almost like it was clashing with that, but it didn't. I took that out and it allowed me to. I don't know. Maybe I was misreading what was going on. Right. So in my freighter, I have somewhere Radiant Heart. It doesn't really matter which parts we use. We use the standard parts. Yeah, there is still a box glyph for staff. It went away. They fixed it. It came back again. But what I haven't had tested is if anybody else will get exactly the same staff. So that's what I need testing by somebody else, really. So I'll drop the glyphs in a minute. But yes, I made a newer video about glitching staffs because it came back. But it comes back in a very specific way. It may never have fully gone away. We may just have not noticed. Oh, I didn't. Still need to get a multi-tool from somewhere, which is part of it. So let's see if it is this place first. Staff assembly. Right, this is how it works now. First of all, you have to build a staff. There's be any staff, including the one that you might want, and assemble it. And you get a staff of some kind. Take the head out, put it back in again. We'll put that one in because that's the one we want. You get the staff. Third time, without going out of the interface, is the positioned one. So if you can come to this base and see if you get, what is that symbol? I've got my Greek alphabet here somewhere to... what is that symbol? Is that a phi? If you get phi spolly in this particular thing with the Radiant Heart on the third attempt. So if I go out again, I'll demonstrate that if I go back in with the Radiant Heart, it doesn't work. That's the standard staff, and we can compare it and we can take it. But on the third attempt of any, doesn't matter which one it is, it's positional. And you can only exchange, which is clearly a glitch. But what I might do is claim any old multi-tool from... oh, I don't want to claim it from here because it might mess it up. We'll go back to the space station. Actually, I've got a base here. I can make a... We'll just build a teleporter.
Technology recharge.
So, your base, not base, space stations. Yeah, that'll do. I think it was a C class in this one. So because we've got to exchange and we can't grab it, then we need a multi-tool as well. So we want to go to my bases. So this is also in Eisentum, I believe. I'll double check that. And I don't think my base is big enough. So the location is plus 8.75, plus 98.30. And the glyphs are Gek, Sunrise, Rocket, Ship, Sunrise, Bird, Ship. I'm losing my track. Where am I? Insect, Ship. Oh, I'm saying ship twice. Start again. Just so that you can type it out if you're listening to this later. Gek, Sunrise, Rocket, Ship, Sunrise, Bird, Rocket, Insect. That's the dragonfly insect. Ship, tree, tent, ship. And we'll just double check that it is in... I've got it in my wonders, I believe. I don't need to go into space to check. Planet records, or is it? No, it's in my personal records. Yeah, we're in Eisentum. So yeah, this page also, if you just come back to here, you can check it. And I'll just hold on there for a second. So yeah, call it up, jump in this. Oh, I didn't that go. I've been using the wrong multi-tool now, aren't I? So scanner to recharge. Switch back to my dud multi-tool. Go in here, start assembly. You have to go into each one each time. You can't just take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in. You've got to go into assemble. Third time's lucky. Compare. And we can only exchange, which is why I've got the dud multi-tool. And this has... let me just get the stats on the screen. Not on the screen. I'll read them out. This has a damage bonus of 49.99577. So that's as high as I've ever seen. I need to pull chat back up. So yeah, that's pretty damn near perfect. And if I can get it confirmed, if you can confirm that and let me know in the chat, or send me a link in Reddit, or I don't know if you're on Discord. I can't remember if you ever talked to me on Discord. But if you can confirm to me that you can pick it up too using the same method, then I'll make a video about how to get it. But obviously, it's not worth making a video if everybody gets a different one based on their own personal seed. So, but that's well worth grabbing. And although the supercharged slots aren't perfect, they are pretty good. I'll go back to my one. Land to go back to my one. I found this particular system so good for finding S-class multi-tools. This planet, I found about 6 S-class multi-tools. It's ridiculous. I've never been that successful. And most of those are not even glitched. They're just normal ones. So yeah, like the supercharged slots are 3 in a row. And 1 there. Frustratingly, if that had just been 1 over, that would probably have been pretty damn perfect. But because it's there and not there, it's it loses a load of potential. But it's still really good. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm reasonably sure when we were trying to work out what the glitch was, which we must have done about 4 streams, and kept throwing different theories. I think you might have been the person that said yes, it's definitely location. It definitely went away after that, but maybe we just weren't testing it in that way. We weren't like checking the 3rd time. But somebody online said, "Oh no, that still works," and I'm like, "Well, it doesn't work for me." The other thing that's interesting about the glitch staffs is if you watch my video, it shows you. If you go straight to the space station and immediately put an extra slot in it, it will open up about 4 or 5 other slots. So it's a really efficient way of opening your slots up. You've got to do it straight away. You can't leave it like I've done now. You can't swap your multi-tools around and stuff. I'm going to store that one away because I don't really want that one confusing me. So anyway, I think that's probably enough for this stream. We managed to achieve what we set out to do, which is max out this. I'll do that now before I say goodbye. I'll sell the remainder of the things and see what kind of yield we get from them, because that's kind of relevant, whether or not it pays for itself or not. See how many they're offering nanite wise if we just sell them. So 181-ish for that one for the C. Yeah. Grafted eye, there's just one of those, 318. Got 4 of the scream suppressors, 537 for that, so that's pretty good. 3 singularity cortex nodes, 179. And 1 grafted eye node at S class, 484. So a nice little, and we got that just by pulsing anyway, so might as well add that. So a nice little haul makes up for some of the evolving. But apart from that, that's how you efficiently, oh, living glass. That's how you efficiently do the, I haven't got it on me, I'll do that later. That's how you efficiently fill out your Wraith. I've been Pharaoh, travel well, and goodbye for now.